Hello, it's this Mr. Camping here with a new video. And in this video, I'm going to be doing my event week guide for this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. So starting off with the main menu this time around, it lists like all of the different like nightclub bonuses. So 1.5 times like money RP on the Mcxl missions. And then it shows off the HSW like premium test ride, the P-Fister Astron Custom. More details on all of those to come later on in here. And then, yeah, HSW time trial this time around is Terminal. And it's actually a pretty long one this time around. The part-time one was like over 4 minutes at 4 minutes 15 seconds. It's definitely a pretty long part-time this time around compared to typical HSW time trials. And yeah, the strategy I had for this one was I didn't like do the GPS marker like right on the like yellow marker like I typically do. But instead, I did like my GPS marker on like the highway next to it, because if you mark on the highway, you kind of get like a better route essentially. Because for me, when I marked it on like the yellow like icon, basically it had me going through like the countryside, like Blaine County and all that, and it's very off-roady in certain sections and whatnot. And of course, with that, there's kind of the risk of falling into like water and whatnot. So I definitely highly recommend marking on the highway next to it. That way you get a better GPS route. And yeah, for a couple of shortcuts, I would say I did like a very small shortcut on like the train tracks in a certain area. It wasn't really that much of a time save, I would say. There was one by like a stunt jump I did, but I wasn't really sure if that was much of a time save, to be honest, either. But it could be in the slightest, at least. There was definitely a pretty good couple shortcuts near the end I did before getting into the like major part of the highway. There was like a thing of grass I went through, and after that thing of grass for like the last of the like shortcuts I think I could think of. Basically on that like road leading up to like the highway, like where I like started and whatnot, I did like a little jump to get onto there quicker. That way I could kind of take advantage of like the acceleration of my HSW Hawktail drag and whatnot. That way I could take advantage of the like acceleration quicker and whatnot. And yeah, once you get onto the highway, pretty much it's smooth sailing from there. And then you just gotta like get to the marker. And again, I do not recommend doing the like yellow like marker as your GPS. The highway, I would say, next to it again would be better. Because there is actually a lot of like verticality as well near the end if you do take like the GPS route with like the yellow like icon and whatnot. So doing the highway, you're already going to be at like a good verticality to get to the like finish line instead of having to get your like vehicle up like a bunch of like inclines and all that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all the advice I have for the time trial here. Onto the premium test ride this time around. It is the P-Fister Astron Custom. And I definitely do think this is a very worthwhile pickup for HSW vehicles, considering it is the only SUV currently with an HSW upgrade. So it's basically kind of the #1 top speed, or at least the #1 accelerating SUV in the game currently. Onto the nightclub business bonuses. For the week, there is 2 times popularity on like the promotion missions. And when I did one, I got like a whole bar, so I assume normally you get like half a bar, so instead of like 10 missions to max out popularity, it should only take 5 missions to max out popularity. Though I believe the max out popularity, you don't even necessarily do the missions as like the most efficient way to do them. I think you can like rebook your like DJ multiple times, and like one of the like underground like storage things to like skip the like cutscene and stuff for rebooking DJ. I think that's the like most efficient way. And yeah, being the most efficient way, that doesn't actually even involve the missions. So I would say that like promotion missions, even on double, not really all that worth doing, unfortunately. But yeah, the 50% more money, as far as I know on the 8th generation version, if I remember, the like money is normally like $10,000, I believe you get like per time this say fills up with max popularity. So I want to say it's like 15,000 on the 8th gen version that you can get at like max. I believe I heard you can get like 50,000 normally at max with the buff they did for the 9th generation version on the like Nightclub safe money on like max popularity. So I think right now at 50% more that should be like $75,000. And then onto like the 2 times like speed on like the Nightclub goods. And that obviously means that the Nightclub goods themselves aren't going to be like increased money, but obviously you'll be getting them twice as fast, which is quite nice. And again, when it comes to the money, like 9th gen, it was buffed at least for the biker business side of things for like those equivalents in like the Nightclub. So obviously that's going to be a bit better for the 9th generation version as well for the warehouse goods like production. But yeah, the strategy I want to mention for that one does, I know for a fact, work on both the 8th generation and the 9th generation version. But yeah, if you want like double like speed on your like goods, if you want to go about that as efficient as possible, you can go to like the Alice car meet. There will be like gameplay somewhere of that in this event link guide. But you want to go to the car meet, preferably put on like a thing of Alice car meet clothing so you can also get more reputation in the like standard rate as well. And then all you have to do is basically go onto like the test track screen where it basically says like enter exit Alice like car meet. You basically just stay on that screen and you cannot get kicked for some reason. So if you want to be AFK, just go into like the test track with one of the like test track vehicles. That's basically how you can go like AFK in the game to maximize on your goods and all that. Onto 1.5 times money in RP on Mcxl missions. Mcxl missions are like completely passive businesses, just like the Nightclub, except it's not pretty much automatic for the most part like the Nightclub is. You basically buy like supplies if you want it to be automatic. Otherwise, you do have the option to source. Personally, I do not recommend sourcing because you can just buy the supplies for like 75,000 and you can make back your 75,000 that it takes for like the goods to like fully produce, which I believe with like staff and equipment, probably like a couple hours I believe it takes like per like one thing of like supplies and whatnot. And yeah, for the MC businesses, I just recommend buying like supplies and then maxing it out, I believe. Because I believe even with just buying one thing of supplies, you can get like free like post-op vans and stuff like that. So it's better just get like the maximum amount of money on the different MC businesses. Also, again, on the MC like businesses on the 9th gen version, I believe they were all like buffed by like 25%. So it is going to be slightly better on the 9th generation systems for this bonus here, but definitely still very worth doing even on the 8th generation of systems and all that. Onto business discounts for the week, there's MC Clubhouses for 30% off. Quite frankly, MC Clubhouses are not normally really that expensive, but obviously the 30% off is quite nice. You do get the ability to like spawn motorcycles next to you and whatnot, being able to be like an MC president and all that, and then also you obviously need MC Clubhouses for the like businesses. They're on like 1.5 times the money at the moment. Nightclub security upgrade, 40% off of that. My opinion, not really that great of one. I believe as long as you're not like a CEO or like MC, if you're basically like nothing, then I do not think you can even get like your businesses like rated and all that. So it's not really all that worth it. It's very unusual for a business to be attacked depending on your like circumstances and whatnot, as long as you're not like AFK for a ridiculously like long time and don't have like very high like value in your like businesses and whatnot while you're like CEO or MC or whatever. And 30% off the like office accommodations at the bed to like the CEO office to be able to spawn there, and that 30% off is pretty good. It's a very decent spawn location to be able to like go to your assistant and like spawn helicopters, get out of like the city. And you're pretty much in like the middle of the city for the most part, I would say. So definitely a pretty good spawn location, but I still would say like the hangar and like the Kasaka is like better like spawn locations. It was definitely a pretty decent one regardless for the office accommodations. And then 50% off the bunker transportation, not mentioned in like the what's new section, but I do have a like screenshot of that. Bunker transportation, in my opinion, not really the most like worthwhile thing. Because yeah, the bunker's a pretty big interior, but you're probably not going to be going through like most of the bunker most of the times, because you're probably mostly going to go on like the computer thing to like buy supplies for like 75,000, turn the nightclub to a passive business, and that's pretty much in like the center of the bunker. So hard to really recommend the transportation, to be honest. Onto free clothing and accessories that can be earned in game right now. There is 3 different clothing things, 2 of which is mentioned on like the What's the News section, 1 that can be found on like the Rockstar Newswire. But yeah, completing a special cargo cell mission will obtain the white graphic smoking jacket, so that's for doing a special cargo cell mission. A biker cell mission will get you green square shades. And the biker one is definitely the only one that's worth it in terms of money, I would say, being on 1.5 times right now. And then doing a gun running cell mission will get you a white vom viewer cap, which is not, again, mentioned on like the What's the News section, but again is on like the Rockstar Newswire. And yeah, definitely only the green square shades in terms of money. On to 4 times money in RP on Cross the Line adversary mode here. I believe this is actually the very first time they're doing a 4 times money in RP thing here, so definitely very historical in terms of like the event weeks that Rockstar does for Grand Theft Auto Online. And yeah, the match that I'm doing in like the gameplay, basically, that was like gameplay that lasted like 8 to 9 minutes and whatnot. Like the bare minimal amount of players, I believe the bare minimal amount of players is 4 players. And I basically won every single round, like no contest essentially, so it kinda kicked the ass of the other team essentially. But yeah, very quick 7 rounds in like 1 match, basically with 4 people, and that got me almost $80,000, which is actually kind of decent considering it was only like 8, 9, like 10 minutes. Kind of decent in terms of like an adversary mode, obviously, at least. But yeah, per hour, obviously, it's not going to go anywhere close to Cayo Perico heist or anything, but yeah, 4 times, definitely very nice. Could be good for career builders, I suppose, that might be starting the game for any reason, but aside for that, I would kind of avoid it. Unless you're huge on playing, like, all the different stuff. That's on, like, money opportunities and the, like, event week and whatnot. But yeah, nice thing is, you can combine this with, like, the MC, like, sales and then, like, the nightclub, because those can be made passive, as I've mentioned before. So that definitely can have its good uses for the event, no doubt. Onto the test track vehicles this time around, there is the Ubermacht Revolter, the ENS Jubilee, and then the Volcar Warner HKR. And right away, I'm going to say, aside for unique classing, the Warner HKR is basically the, like, worst of the, like, 17 different, like, tuner subclass vehicles in the game, so that one's basically not worth it aside for unique classing. The Urmach Revolter, though, that's like one of the like civilian vehicles from like the Doomsday Heist DLC. I believe that they have like the machine guns on, so it's like a 4-door like sport car with machine guns on it, which is kind of nice. And then the ENS Jubilee, that's basically like an armored like SUV and whatnot. It's an Amani type vehicle, so it comes standard with the like blow resistant windows, and then you can add like armor plating, machine guns, stuck mines, and then the choice of like the remote control unit and like missile lock-on jammer. Being like slow-ish like SUV, I would definitely say it's better to do like the missile lock-on jammer for that particular like Amani Tech vehicle there for the Jubilee. And then the thing that people really like about the Jubilee, as far as I know, when it comes to the different Amani Tech vehicles, is it's like high, which means like the machine guns are pretty high up, so it's pretty good for like hitting like enemies in their like vehicles and whatnot compared to some other Amani Tech vehicles. Onto the Podium Vehicle, and then the prize ride this time around. The Podium Vehicle this time is the Benefactor Schlagen GT. And going off of the spreadsheet from Bruffy 1322, which will be linked in the description of this video, the Schlagen GT is not a very good sport car in terms of lap time, but it's still an alright vehicle in terms of top speed, at least for the 8th generation version of the game. Though I would say with a couple HSW vehicles, since it was kind of specialized in acceleration, especially in somewhat top speed, that I would kind of say it's kind of a pass on the 9th gen version of the game. So for those on the 8th gen though, I do think it's a pretty alright pickup though, but otherwise probably not for the Podium Vehicle. And then the prize ride this time around is the Dinka Jester Classic, and for some reason that was not put onto the what's new section on the 9th gen version, even on early to late Sunday and whatnot. So the image, the screenshot I took will have to do, but yeah, to get it, you basically get first place in LS Car Meet Series race for 4 days in a row. So the 4 days in a row part's the one annoying part of the challenge, but considering you can do street races, it's not a bad challenge at all. You can basically exchange wins with a friend or something on a street race or something. That way both people can get the vehicle. But in terms of performance, the Jester Classic does not really have a good performance for the sport class. Both Podium and Prize Ride this time around are in the sport class. But the Prize Ride this time around, the Jester Classic, that is basically the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas rendition of the Jester, which is pretty cool. Onto discounts this time around, there is free drinks at nightclubs and then Diamond Casino and Resort for a very small discount there. And then there's the Mcxl one, 30% off, Stafford 40% off, the Benefactor Limo 40% off, and the Vapid Flash GT 40% off as shown on the What's New section. And then not shown on the What's New section, there's also 50% off the Mammoth Patriot Stretch, the Rampadati Tropos Rally, and then 60% off of the Pounder Custom. But yeah, quite frankly, all the non-weaponized vehicles this time around kind of suck. Quite honestly, I looked at all the different performances for all of them, and none of the performances for the vehicle performance really stood out all that much. So really, this time around, the only good discounts would be the Turton Limo and then the MTL Pounder Custom for 60% off. The Turton Limo is really nice because it does have the spawn convenience through the CO menu. And if you actually purchase the vehicles that can be spawned for the CO menu, you can actually spawn them for free instead of spawning a Turton Limo for 20, 25,000, whatever it costs. So definitely very worth getting the Turton Limo so you can spawn it for free for the CO menu. And then the MTL Pounder Custom, that's the best possible sale vehicle you can have for the nightclub, so I've seen that as absolutely worth getting as well. And then finally onto the premium race and the time trials and stuff. Premium race this time around is for the supercar class, and for the vehicles I just let people have a look into description for the spreadsheet I mentioned earlier. And yeah, regular time trial this time around, not really that bad. I would just look at my gameplay and stuff because there's not really much of a strategy worth mentioning and all that. RC Bandito time trial, that one's construction site 1. And that one again, just to look at the gameplay, it's not really that easy to think of much of a strategy, I would say, for that one. And yeah, I would say showed HSW time trial earlier on, so that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed.